Yo, if you guys hear a lot of commotion, that's because this is Harlem, New York. There's a block party outside. Y nosotros aquí grabando y mierda when we could be outside.
It's a good day today, also.
It's a nice day today.
Yeah, the heat wave broke.
Yeah.
It's nice and cool. El aire está pasando. No,
bro, and they closed down the streets here in Broadway from 110 to Dykeman. So people are in the street, like walking the streets. And
I noticed that.
Bro, this is New York. Good. This is dope. You hear the music. I want to be outside.
Yeah, you got the music over there, the dog over here.
Yeah.
Your camera ain't working.
So we recorded a whole podcast. A whole ass hour, bro. It was decompensating. I even got emotional, bro. I was talking about family trauma. Loco, the camera wasn't even rolling, bro. It wasn't even. Yo, I'm so mad. Y con una hambre deshidratado. Bruh.
You know what? This is life.
This is life.
This is life. Así es la vida, you know? Sometimes you forget to push record on things.
Bruh.
That's why
is it recording now? Because, bro.
Oh, yeah, it's recording now. I see it now. The red light is on.
Bruh. We were talking about some real topics, some deep down conversations. Now we're going to have to try to recreate it.
Nah, we're not going to recreate. We're just going to create something new.
We're going to create something new. Let's do that.
Yeah, we're going forward, which is a theme here. Okay. We're going to move forward.
So, all right. So, let's start it off because we need to talk about this. Love Island. Kenny. All right?
Kenny.
I don't know much about Love Island or whatnot, but I see that it's all over TikTok. It's trending. And this Kenny guy is kind of ruining it for Dominicans right now, like Dominican men right now.
What is it about, in your opinion, from your perspective, what did Kenny do?
From my perspective is, I guess he sent out a group text saying some racist stuff that he...
Allegedly.
That he that he likes white women, that he never even liked her or something like that. And that he was there for the money and he wants to fuck mad bitches. You know, that's what I saw, whatever. Mm-hmm. Right? So, and which affects us because already Dominicans got a bad reputation, you know, they calling us players, que todo lo otro, right? But I'm like, there's a lot of good Dominican men, right, that have families, that work, that never cheated on their women. I never cheated on a woman. You see what I'm saying?
Do you think Dominican men get a bad rap in general?
I think
more than other Latino groups.
I believe so.
Why?
I don't know where it comes from. I don't know. Also, we're paying for the sins of our fathers, I think, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my father, you know, my stepfather did, you know, cheat and had a kid out of wedlock, right? And had another family, whatever. So I think that it happens a lot. But I don't think it's only a Dominican thing. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. I think it's a Latino thing in general, but like to say, paint all Dominicans as players and stuff like that. I think, some women got hurt, right? They all start talking to each other, right? And we're paying for that today. I'm paying for something that somebody else did that I had nothing to do with.
Right.
You know, and there are bad men out there. Are all of them bad men? No. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think there's two ways to tackle this issue.
Yeah.
Because I think so the thing that Kenny Rodriguez did. Uh-huh. Right? For those that don't know, he's the third place winner of Love Island season 6.
Yeah.
And he came out with these messages. Mm-hmm. Right? Not only does it make Dominican men look bad, but it's also it started up a conversation about, you know,
anti-blackness
Colorism. That exists within, in this particular instance, within Dominican men. Yeah. Or just Dominicans in general. The culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there is a lot of conversations got started up, especially on TikTok, because I've been seeing that stuff pop up.
Mostly on TikTok.
Whether that about like we need to. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. We need to have a conversation about Dominicans and anti-blackness. And I know that's something that came up. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I kind of want to hear what you have to say about that.
What I think is the reason why it sparked the whole anti-blackness and colorism conversation is because there's a lot of Dominicans. We're also tired of colorism. We're tired of the racism, and because the colorism in the Dominican Republic and the United States is different. All right, I think in the United States, in Dominican Republic, is more blatant. Is in your face. It's part of the culture. It's a porch conversation. It's like you could be outside, we could be in a group of friends, and everything's all cool, fine and dandy, and all of a sudden, it becomes racist, right? It's so easy to be like somebody. You gotta fix your race, right? You know, and even for myself, like I grew up not liking who I was, right? Because it was all this anti-black sentiment that you have to fix the race and tengo el pelo malo and stuff like that. So you know, when you have a full conversation over there, and then all of a sudden, like there was once I was in Dominican Republic, and I was hanging out with a journalist, a black journalist, and somebody cut me off, and he's like, "Este maldito prieto." I looked at him. This motherfucker, he's black like Wesley Snipes, bro. And he's half Haitian, so he's half Dominican, half Haitian. He's like, "Este maldito prieto," and I looked at him like, bro. Do you see yourself? But he has his hair permed. And I was like, bro, don't say that shit in my car, bro. I looked at him. I was like, don't say that. You're in my car. Don't say maldito prieto. Porque tú nunca dices este maldito blanco. He's like, verdad. Yo nunca dicho maldito blanco. So it's so normalized and people say these racist things. And they don't see it as something bad or that it's racist or like we're demeaning a certain group of people, right?
Yeah,
no,
I think so. Anti-blackness, colorism.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not just anti-blackness, it's anti-blackness, anti-indigeneity.
Yeah.
I think it exists. It's prevalent through Latino America.
All Latino America.
And
I think it's
very prevalent.
All over the world.
It's all over the world. In this case, we're gonna hone in on our peoples.
Yeah, on our peoples. Yeah. Yeah, because that's another thing, guys. I'm afraid of people saying Dominicans are racist, Dominicans are this. And let me tell you something. I love my people. I love being Dominican. Like being Dominican is dope as hell. Our food is amazing. Our food, our culture, our music, el can, la jerga dominicana. I love it, bro. Because we're people that like will take care of you. You come over to my house and you're hungry, even if you're not hungry, we'll feed you. That's the type of person a Dominican is. We're fucking good people, but we're not perfect, and that's okay. That's okay that we're not perfect. But when we're not perfect and the places that we need to fix, it's okay to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I think part of it is also the fact that like we're not. You say it yourself, we're not perfect, but we gotta see where the flaws are. And I think not just in Dominican culture, but in Mexican culture as well. Like it exists everywhere. That we can't go through life and we can't pass on to the generations. Well, this is just the way we are.
Yeah.
Así somos como somos y ya. No. We gotta like be better.
Be better.
Right? But I think this idea of mejorar la raza, I think it exists specifically within the Dominican Republic that we're talking about. Like it was ingrained. It's part of your history.
Yeah.
It's part of Dominican history, especially with a dictator like Trujillo. Right? You guys had a dictator who was mixed race, who was ashamed of his African roots and made it policy to bury African culture, African history.
Yeah.
And to embrace and uplift Spanish colonialism. And I think that had a lot to do with this mentality, right? Because that anti-blackness permeated not just through the government, but through education, through entertainment, to very much embrace Hispanidad, the Spaniard side of the culture. And I think that's a lot of our elders grew up with that mentality. Yeah. And again, you're living in an island where this is it's drilled into you.
Yeah.
To be whiter.
To be
whiter.
Hay
que mejorar la raza. And to be ashamed of having kinky hair, darker skin, being anti-Haitian it was so ingrained into what being Dominican was. And I think like again, that is something that doesn't excuse the anti-blackness that exists now.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to analyze that part as well.
Yeah.
And acknowledge what happened during the Trujillo regime that caused all of this to be happening.
Yeah.
Now,
He also had the Parsley massacre.
The Parsley massacre, absolutely.
Yeah. Like over 30,000 Haitians were killed. You know, and the numbers are like still like they're still trying to figure out the numbers because there's also a lot of Haitians that were missing. And throughout the massacre, they not only killed Haitians, but also a lot of Black Dominicans were killed in the process, right? And you know, there's a lot of controversies between Dominican and Haitian history because, you know, then Haiti, you know, and anybody that's watching this, and if I'm wrong, you could correct me. It's okay. Like this is a part of having a conversation. Let's have this open conversation. If I'm wrong about something, yes, correct me. I welcome it. You know, but you know, Dominican Republic celebrates its independence from Haiti, right? And when Haitians, you know, received their liberation, you know, the United States of America got involved, and France put a tax on Haitians or having them pay back reparations for over $10 billion, right? So Haiti was like, bro, we can't pay that. This is what hurt the Haitian economy. So they went over to the Dominican side, right? And took over, right? Dominican Republic. So they owned all of Hispaniola. And that's when Juan Pablo Duarte came together with the other one. That's what they called the Trinitarios. And they fought back. All right. And that's where Dominican Republic was born. That's what they celebrate. You know, Dominican Republic is from the liberation of Haiti. Right. And there's probably more stuff that I don't know about in depth, you know, but, you know, I know a lot of people, a lot of Dominicans be like, the reason the Haitian stuff is not the race thing, but which is not true. Right. Race has a lot to do with it. Right. And then a lot of people will be like, oh, it's a classism stuff, not a racial stuff. I'm like, both could be true.
Both are true.
And both are true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. When you're told to uplift your whiteness, to uplift Spanish colonialism and downplay your African roots, that's very racial. It's not just about classism. It is. But it's classism and racism. I mean, we see it in, I mean, you see it in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's mestizaje is the concept that exists, right? But that concept, pretty much what it does is that it uplifts your Spanish roots, celebrate your Spanish roots, and downplay your indigenous roots, right? And we see it manifest itself in the entertainment, las telenovelas, right? Where you see, you know, 90% of the actors, and I'm being generous, where it's 90% of all the telenovelas, you just see, you know, blanquitos everywhere.
You don't see the indigenous Mexicans at all.
You don't see indigenous Mexicans, and you don't see Afro-Mexicans either. And because, again, they're trying, like, for the longest time, again, the elites try to downplay indigenous culture, African culture.
Yeah.
Because they saw that the Europeans, they saw whiteness as something that was meant to be achieved.
Yeah. It was glorified. And it's glorified all over Latin America, which is crazy.
Well, Mexico and the Dominican Republic, they encouraged immigration from European countries.
That's true.
Because they wanted to mejorar la raza.
And that's what Trujillo did.
That's exactly what Trujillo did. I think you, again, correct me if I'm wrong. You told me one time that Trujillo put in saxophones into music.
Yeah, he did.
Why did he do that?
Because it was looked upon as lower class. That's why. You know, it was Perico Ripiao, right? And Perico Ripiao was algo de la calle, but he loved Perico Ripiao. So the upper class didn't mess with, you know, Perico Ripiao or even bachata. He liked Perico Ripiao. He didn't like bachata. So he like outlawed bachata, right? But he was like, in order to turn Perico Ripiao to be palatable to the elites in Dominican Republic, what he did was he added saxophones and trumpets and stuff like that. So to change the concept of Perico Ripiao to a merengue, right? And that's how come we have this merengue today, right?
That's wild.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just classism.
Yeah.
It is classism.
It is classism.
But it's also
racism
and
colorism. you know, and develop. I don't think it was him, but like before him, the Dominican Republic developed the caste system, and the caste system, like you know, like you know, you have different levels of darkness, right? You're Indio, you're this, right? And the caste system, that's where also people related to you with when it came to class as well within the country, right? So, and I love my people, man, and I just don't want people to think, you know, I don't know if I said this already. I said the other podcast.
Say it again.
Yeah. I just don't want people to like. I don't want people to, because there was a time they were like, I don't want to go somewhere and people be like, you Dominican, you know, you guys have a race issue. And we do, but everybody does. And I don't want people to feel a certain type of way against Dominicans because of this, when there's a lot of, we're good people, bro. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm afraid of with this whole Kenny backlash. But I do know that, and I'm proud of the Dominicans are standing up against this. I am. You know why? Because the people that are standing up against this, we're the Dominicans are tired. We're tired of people, but you're sitting down and having a conversation and somebody comes out to you and be like, tú sabes que eso negro tiene pelo malo, tú sabes que arregla la raza. And you see a baby, ay, mira, tiene los ojos azules, right? So it's like, tú necesitas buscarte una rubia con los ojos azules. I'm tired of that shit, bro. And I think a lot of Dominicans, we're tired of the same rhetoric, the anti-black rhetoric. Ay, tú sabes que buscaste una mujer rubia con los ojos azules. ¿Sabes? Me gustan las mujeres con los ojos azules. Te voy a buscar una rubia con los ojos azules. Every fucking time, bro, when we talk about beauty. Ay, sí, la blanquita, tú sabes, una blanquita con los ojos azules. It's like, bro. I'm like, we're beautiful people the way we are already. Yeah. We are gorgeous, bro, because beauty comes from diversity. So I think Dominicans, for such a long time, a lot of people are speaking out about it. We're like, we hear it, and we're staying quiet. We're staying quiet at all time for years. I'm 38 years old, and at times like, yo me quedo callado, and like, you know what I see? I know a dude that came up to me. This is how normal it is. A dude came up to me, and he was like, el negro de mi casa, solo yo. That's a thing. El negro de mi casa, solo yo. Quiere decir que yo voy a ser el más negro de mi casa y yo no voy a salir con una persona que es blanca. ¿Tú entiendes? So lo que pasa es, y yo me quedo callado. Yo escucho toda esta vaina y yo me quedo callado. No, porque uno no va a estar discutiendo con todo el mundo. So, tú ves, and I love that a lot of Gen Zers on TikTok are speaking out against it. And there's a reason why they're speaking out against, because they're tired. And I think Kenny was, you know, like you said earlier, is that straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kenny was the thing, like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm just going to go out and speak out and say this, you know?
No, I think that's a good thing. Like you said before, we love our cultures. Yeah. We love our people. Right? And it's because we love our people.
We got to hold them accountable.
There's no other way. And we can't, again, we can't look into the past and just think, well, that's just the way we are. Like, that can't be the way that we operate. No. It's not the way that we should operate in future generations. We have a privilege of being able to take a look back and see the mistakes that were made along the way. Yeah. Because our parents weren't perfect. Our ancestors weren't perfect. We are not perfect. But we owe it to the future to be able to just, at the very least, take a look back and see this isn't working. Whether it's machista culture, whether it's colorism, whether it's racism, whether it's classism, we got to figure out what doesn't work. What doesn't work for us is, you know, in the long run.
And how can we change it?
It's also about finding the causes of why we are the way we are. Because we can't help ourselves. We can't heal until we know what the actual problem is. And look deep down within us. Are we classist? Are we racist and we just don't know it? Are we machista and we just don't know it? Right? And I think that's holding us accountable. Holding us as, you know, as Gadiel, as Norberto accountable, but it's also about holding our families accountable. It's about holding our own heritage, our culture accountable.
Yeah, so I recently did a video and I got a lot of love, and shout out to all the Dominicans that supported this, right? And I love that I'm seeing the people. I'm excited for the next generation because they standing up and they saying something about this, right? So, and this man responded to me. This is a black man, a historian, right? And I thought this was cool. This is what he wrote on my Facebook page, right? And I thought this was extremely important when it comes to the culture, right? I'm gonna read it to you right now. You can hear the music, like goddamn. I like a little. People were mad about the Dominicans in the parade, like it was ratchet, and people are mad, but like this is not who we are. But I kind of like a little ratchetness. Bro.
We're all a little ratchet.
We are a little ratchet.
We're all a little ratchet.
Yeah, it's a little fun.
Yeah.
All right, so this man is David Harris, bro, and this made my day. He said, "I applaud you for standing up to anti-black racism. It is an issue throughout the Americas, deeply rooted in the U.S. as well. The difference in the United States is that we did have a prominent black consciousness movement in the 1960s. I can remember James Brown singing, 'Say it loud, I am black and I'm proud.' Natural hair became the thing, and there were books, movies, plays written extolling the beauty and power of being black. There even emerged in the black religious tradition, black liberation theology. It did not end anti-blackness, but it certainly gave us something to draw upon for future generations and became a blueprint for blacks in Latin America to draw upon. In the end, will be left up to Afro-Latinos and black folks wherever they live to do what the great Marcus Garvey said, to do and what Bob Marley immortalized. Emancipate yourself from slavery mentality. None but ourselves can free our minds." And I was like, bro, that's what we need to be doing.
I love that.
That's what we need to be doing. Right now, like the art, just having this conversation here, but not only like, look, let's call this out. We need to be creating art of the beauty of where we come from, who we are. I think there has been years of brainwashing and colonizing our minds, saying like white is beautiful. Actually, beauty is diversity, the mix, right? But also, let's call out our blackness as beauty. This is art. As artists, you're a painter. Paint us in beautiful ways. If you make music, music about our blackness being beautiful with our hair, with our lips, with our color, right? We have a responsibility when we create movies, put, black women at the forefront or black men on the forefront in these movies, because it's been years that they've done that to us. We've been programmed. So now, in order to find the beauty and make changes, the ones that are the artists are the ones that impact culture, and we're the ones got to be the ones creating content and art that exemplifies us in a beautiful way. That's how I see it. That's my message to Afro Latinos everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's important. That's an important message. I mean, this goes across the board, right?
Yeah.
I think it's not just it's meant for everybody, because again, we like the change doesn't start if it doesn't start with us, right? And I think like even the way you said about movies and stuff, the idea for Mexicans, it's I don't know why whiteness has always been like the thing to achieve. And we see it ingrained in the culture, in the entertainment specifically.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you again because I thought about it, because I said it last time and I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah.
The movie from the Golden Age, Pedro Infante, Maria Felix, in this movie called Tizoc. I like Tizoc. Tizoc is a great movie. I grew up with it. I thought it was a charming movie. I thought it was, it won me over. Right, it was the first color. Is the first and last movie in color that Pedro Infante did.
Oh wow!
And it was the last movie that he did before he died.
Wow.
So I had that movie has a place in my heart. I can say that, but I can also criticize the hell out of it. Looking at it now, Pedro Infante played this Indio named Tizoc. He browned up for that.
Wow.
So he put on brown makeup. had his hair in a bowl cut because he wanted to look like, you know, an indio. Keep in mind, Pedro Infante
is white.
He's
a white Mexican.
Blackito. Is what he is. And one of the things is that in this movie with, again, Maria Felix in the movie, she plays an aristocrat type of person, upper class woman. And you know, then you have the Tizoc, who falls in love with this woman because she looks like la Virgencita. She sees the statue of la Virgencita and it's like, oh, but la Virgen, I'm falling in love with this woman. And so in this movie, there's a scene where Tizoc is looking at Maria Felix and her character, and he starts daydreaming. So there's a dream sequence. Suddenly, Tizoc reverts back to Pedro Infante, blanquito skin,
bruh,
you know, combed up, and you know he's singing to Maria Felix, and they have a little dance sequence. And again, this is like straight up colonial propaganda. What is this telling audiences?
Yeah, the dream is to become white. The dream is, this is what the dream is, like him turning white, and if you do, you get the girl. And I don't know if they did that intentionally or did not do it intentionally, but the thing is that now, because of that, you're programming a whole lot of people, even the next generation, going like, that's the goal.
And that's the thing about it. This is a lot more complex than were the filmmakers behind the scenes being like, you know, we're gonna uplift Spaniard, you know, colonialism in this movie, and we're gonna. I don't think that was what their thought process. I don't know what their thought process was. But at the end of the day, the results kind of speak for themselves. You have a dream sequence of this indigenous man dreaming himself to be this white man. Because that's
this Prince Charming,
like, you know, and I think, and again, this indigenous character who's being played by a white man with brown face, that is something that is like the results kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And again, I love this movie. Damn. I've always loved this movie.
Damn, I'm gonna watch this.
But I think it's because I love this movie that I can and I have to criticize it. For its incredible flaws. And just like I can criticize this movie, as we all should, about what it's perpetuating to the world, we have to be able to do that with our own cultures and understand that, again, we're not perfect.
You know what makes it hard is a lot of our culture is still colonized, right? Where there's still that brainwash still exists today. You know, I think the hard part is, how can we even break people out of that mold? Can we even do that? Because I was like, I want to do so many things for Afro Latinos, but like I recently dated a girl, Afro Latina, Black Dominican woman, and she was telling me how she was racist versus Black people. I'm like, girl, we came from the same transatlantic slave trade, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, you hate Black people, but like a lot of these Black people, we have the same ancestors that you have this misconception. I really liked her. Right. And we ended things. Well, I ended things because I was like, I'm not going to, you're 37 years old. You already think like that. I'm not going to do anything that's going to change that. And man, oh my God. She was like the woman of my dreams, bro. And how can you break that when people already was programmed for so many years and they already think like that?
It's funny that you say that. So season 7 of Love Island, there were 2 contestants that were kicked off by production. Both Latinas. One of them was Yulisa, who, you know, you watch the show and you're like, okay. Then the narrator goes, Yulisa has exited Love Island, and that's it. They don't talk about it. They don't do anything. Bruh. And you're like, wait, what happened? Then you look into what happened. She liked use. Her name is Yulisa. Yulissa.
Such a Dominican name.
From Florida.
She's Dominican.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that much.
Okay.
What I do know is that she is Latina. She's from Florida. And she liked using the N-word a lot. Keep in mind, she is light-skinned Latina.
Bruh.
But she liked using it a lot.
Yeah.
And therefore, they were like, we gotta.
Bruh. So she was just like saying it a lot, and
those are the reasons they get. So this is all alleged. It's the things that
let me
came
tell you,
out.
I've been using the N word, right? And culturally, a lot of times, Latinos, we grew up with black culture, around black culture, like over here in New York, especially here in New York City. Like New York City, you gotta think about hip hop came from black folks and Puerto Ricans.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's just culturally, that's how it always been. You know what I mean? And I think when people don't grow up and they see it from the outside in, they're like, yo, this is problematic. But when you grew up within the culture, this was normal. This is every day. You see what I'm saying? Like I grew up with looking out the window and somebody was killed outside. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was street rules and culturally street rules and street mentality that moved that certain way. All this stuff is eso de ahora.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
here's the thing though. Like I think like as kids, there are things that we do in middle school, high school, even, but we grow.
Yeah.
Like we grow.
Yeah.
We can't be no podemos estar estancados. Like we gotta grow. We gotta learn. And we also have to learn when things are no longer acceptable. Again, we're not trying to tell people how to be perfect. That's just unreal. That's not realistic.
Gotcha.
But what we can do is learn from our mistakes.
True.
And know when things are no longer acceptable. And I think for me, my theory's always been, if you're not black, don't say it.
Gotcha.
There's been conversations that I've had with people that I know that like sometimes it's like, no, I should be allowed to say it. If they say it, and then we go into conversations about it. And you're just like, at the end of the day, the rule still stands. If you're not black, don't say it.
Say it. I'm torn in between because I always tell myself I'm gonna stop saying it, but when I'm on the block and this and that, but that, and sometimes it's the perfect word, right? And I think I'm torn, but I'm also very conscious that I don't use it in front of white people.
Why?
That makes me uncomfortable.
Why?
Because I feel like if I say it in front of him, he's going to think it's okay to say that to me. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So subconsciously, I'm like, oh yeah, I say it on my blog on the hood. Like I understand culturally. Like you code switch. It's a code switch, right?
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Right. Yeah.
Is it okay for light-skinned Latinos to say it? You already know my position on this.
Yeah. That one's a tough one. That's a tough one. I think if you grew, I feel like, you know what it is that in New York City, it's so normal. Right? You imagine growing up and you see it everywhere. There's white Latinos, Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans that use it. Right? And black Latinos, because we're just Latinos, we don't think about white or black. We don't think about, you see what I'm saying? Where everybody, for us, it's like everybody's mixed. We're part of the culture. We grew up listening to hip hop. We're part of hip hop. You see what I'm saying? Fabulous is half Dominican. You see what I'm saying? We had Big Pun, Terror Squad. You see what I'm saying? We also think about, like, we grew up in a culture like, it was like the drug dealers ran stuff in the neighborhood, right? And there's still certain parts are still like that. So it's hard because it was, for me to grab that concept because it was so normal. And now I'm questioning, is it right? Is it not right? You see what I'm saying? I think right now I'm questioning that. I think if you grew up within that culture, I'm like, and if you grew up within that era, I think it's fine. But I have a problem if you have no concept of it, you never lived that culture, or you're not part of that culture, even if you're black. Even if you're black and you never grew up within that culture, I'll feel uncomfortable you saying it too. You see what I'm saying? That's what I feel like.
Yeah. No, it's a valid take on that. I mean, my position's always been the same. Like, don't if you're not black, don't say it.
Don't say it.
Like, it's just don't. Why do you need? You know, there's always that video of I think it's Delroy Lindo who's like, if you want to say it so bad, then say it.
yeah.
Say it right now. I'll say it with you. And and that's the thing about it. It's just like, here's the thing. You said it yourself, right? Like in the past, it was acceptable.
Yeah.
Right. If you grew up with it, it was acceptable. My thing is like, we're grown, right? And I don't believe that we should stay with the past. Just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's okay now in the future.
True.
And I think and where I stand on this, and again, everybody has their own take on this, but I think like for me, it's just like our job is to continue improving, continue being better.
Yeah.
And again, if you're, I can't speak for other people, but for myself, there are things in the past, that we did in middle school that we thought was perfectly okay. That's not okay now.
Yeah.
We can't go back in time and fix that.
That's true.
What we can do is fix what we have control of, and that's the future, here and now, the present and the future. So for me, it's just like, again, I love Jose, but I don't believe in a lot of the lyrics that he says.
Which one?
Ya lo pasado.
No me interesa.
Exactly. No te interesa. No, me interesa mucho. Like, that's the thing about it.
Yeah.
Nos debería de interesar a todo mundo. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Great
you know
song,
what?
though. Great
All
song.
right, let's do this. Yeah, maybe we should get rid of the word. Let's get rid of it.
I'm not, look, I can't tell anybody else what to do.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm not telling you don't use the word. Like, no. I'm speaking for myself and for people who kind of grew up like me. Right? Because that's all I can kind of speak on. I would like you as Gadiel, because you're a black man.
Yeah.
You do you. I have no position to tell anybody what to do.
It's the perfect word sometimes.
And you know what? That is your prerogative. But for me,
yeah. You're right.
Yeah. For me, I'm like, I'm not black. I'm not saying it. If I see a cousin saying it, it's just like, well, you're not black. Why are you saying it? Don't say it.
Yeah, don't say it.
But that's my position.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna work on. Matter of fact, I don't use it all the time. Like I saw, especially in California, I saw myself using it less and less. It depends who I was around, right? But I think if I felt uncomfortable using it in front of white people, that's a telltale sign of not using it, right? Because I think there's also the how I'm presenting myself, right? Yes, there is such thing as code switching or whatnot, but like how I'm presenting myself in front of this person, I think this person now is gonna think this is okay, and I think that's where I feel uncomfortable with saying the N word.
That's where you have a line.
That's where my line is.
Interesting. Yeah. I see Yulisa and I'm like, nah, girl.
So Yulisa got kicked out because of that.
Yeah, Yulisa got kicked out. There were some other things that she had done, but they were like, nah. Then the other one was Sierra. And she's Latina and she said some derogatory Asian American slurs. Asian slurs.
Like what?
I'm not saying them.
Say it.
Say it. Nah, but but that came out, and
let's say it on 3.
And the thing was, I'm not gonna lie, okay. Nick and Sierra were one of my favorite couples.
What?
So suddenly,
she said anti-Asian. Like, what was it that she said? Like, is it you could say like the letter. What was it?
Algo tiene algo que ver con los ojos. ¿Verdad?
Yeah.
Y eso no se va.
I know what it was.
Sí, eso no se va. So so suddenly I'm binge watching, so I'm like super in tune. It's like, oh, what happened? And then suddenly you're like, wait, what happened to Sierra? Then you look up on Google what happened, and then the stuff comes out, right? And I think the disappointing part for me was like, dos Latinas are people. No.
Are people.
No.
And you know what? I think for them it's just the lack of education, right? I think
el no saber.
Del no saber. No creo que ella fue una persona mala.
No.
I bet you like they live their life. That doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just like this is something that they're used to saying, and a lot of times they're saying things that they didn't know was wrong. There's a lot of things before I even started BuzzFeed. There was a lot of things, that said that was the anti-trans that I didn't know was anti-trans. So there were certain words that I didn't know I couldn't use, right? Until somebody was like, "Oh, yo, Gadiel, let me talk to you for a second. You can't say that." Or the R word. I ain't know. I was like, "What the hell is?"
I do believe in giving people grace.
Yeah.
Right. I do believe in that. I especially because again, we come from, like we had said before, we come from like our culture is very, very not perfect. And there's multiple reasons for why that is.
Yeah.
Whether it's, government, whether it's politics, whether it's the economics, whether it's lack of education, there's multiple reasons why. I like to give people grace.
Yeah.
Having said that, when you're on a big platform like Love Island,
bruh,
look, I can give you all the grace I want, I can give you. That don't mean that everyone is entitled to give you the same grace.
That's true.
And, especially when that stuff comes out, you can apologize, but it's up to the people who you offended to accept that apology or not. And it's their prerogative if they don't want to, right? So I think when you're on a public platform like that, you're going to get a lot of love and you're also going to get a lot of hate. And that's just the nature of it. Right. And therefore, that's why it hurt a little bit when it was like, those Latinas.
What is it you love Love Island?
Why do I love Love Island? It's el chisme. It's el puro chisme. And it's so... it's what is it, 32 episodes, so somewhere around there. It's over 30 episodes. I know
over
that
30 episodes.
Over 30 episodes, and
you
know
saw
what?
All of it.
I binge watched it in one run. I am not proud of it. I am not proud of it. I was on a mini vacation, and I was like, I gotta watch. They hook you in. They hook you in.
How do they hook you in?
It's just good.
It's just a story, like the drama.
It's the drama. It's people. It's messy. It's trashy. It's people falling in love. It's you're trying to make connections. You find people that you root for. You find people that you root against, and it's so good to watch something that I don't have to think about too deeply. I work in politics or doing political content. And I think the world right now is in such a place that is terrible. Whether it's, whether it's the Orange Cheeto, whether it's Epstein files, whether it's ICE raids, whether it's wars happening all around, whether it's the economy not being great, whether it's groceries, whether it's tariffs, whether it's, the erasure of our history in classrooms, whether it's defunding the education department. All of that stuff kind of takes a back seat when I'm watching Love Island.
It's like a little escape from reality, basically.
It's an escape from reality.
So you're saying everybody that's watching is like escaping from reality, in a sense.
I have a theory that that's what it is.
What's your theory?
That there's a lot of chaos in the world right now. We need a little distraction. And Love Island is the perfect distraction. Because it's for everybody. That's the thing about it.
Do you don't think politics is like a whole big distraction?
Politics it just is. It's what's happening.
I think it just got into an extreme level.
It's always been at that level.
Do you think so?
People should know what their government is doing.
Of course.
And that's the thing about it. Right now, it's a circus.
It's a circus. It's bad.
But even when it's boring, people should be paying attention to what's happening because that's our paychecks. That's our livelihoods. Again, the amount of people that are like, I didn't vote for this, and it's like,
yes, you did.
You didn't vote for this. The man and his people wrote a book telling you exactly what he was going to do, and now you're saying you don't want to vote for this. That's why it's important for people to be involved. But on that same token, like there's a lot happening. It's one news story after another.
And at times,
elected officials were killed, and that news story is now old.
Yo, I heard about that shit.
And so
people didn't really talk about it.
No, it didn't get processed because it's been replaced now by new news stories.
Bruh.
Right? And that's
you know what?
We're doom scrolling all the time that at this point major news stories are being kind of falling through the cracks. They're being pushed aside because there's so much chaos and we don't know what to do with all this hurt.
Information.
Yeah, not just information. All this hurt. Because it's a lot of hurt. But you can escape to Love Island. And not
you should
think
work
about
for
it.
them. You should do Love Island promo.
If they pay me, I will do it. But I mean, but I think that's the reason why. I feel like that's the reason why. And it's not like it's an active thing where they're like, I'm so sad about politics, so therefore let me watch Love Island. No, I think people are just kind of gravitating towards that because it's an easy thing to watch. It's an easy thing to consume. And on top of that, you get to, live vicariously through these people.
Damn, that's crazy that if you would have never mentioned this officials, like I didn't even know who they are. It was in Ohio or some shit, right?
What, Love Island?
No, the guys that were the 2 elected officials that were killed.
The elected officials were killed in Minnesota.
In Minnesota. Who were they?
And they were state representatives and I believe a husband. And so that happened. And that's, and again, it's like there's just so much that has happened,
What were their names? I didn't even know their names, bro. To be honest, something like this, it would have been headlines. There was no headlines. It fell through the cracks.
There were headlines, but the thing is, these days, a headline will be replaced by something else.
Immediate.
Yeah. That's why we're doom scrolling. It's just, we're just scrolling through and we're just looking at all the terrible stuff. And at this point, every news story loses its gravity. When we're just processing so much information, there's so much information that we're just kind of like, it becomes kind of, a little, it doesn't carry the same weight anymore. Wow. Keep in mind, we have a president who is a felon.
Yeah.
People kind of forgot about that. He's a twice impeached president. People forgot about that.
And they still voted for him.
Yeah. But again, it's all about the chaos that's happening.
Yeah.
And I think what people like, well, I know for me, I looked down upon reality TV for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Right. And this is somebody, I'm a pro wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. I love pro wrestling. I look down on reality TV, and I never, as soon as I started working in the, with politics, I noticed myself gravitating more toward reality TV. I started watching 90 Day Fiance, Love Is Blind, and now Love Island. And I think the reason why is because I need a distraction, something that I don't have to think too much on. And I think that's also why I like pro wrestling too, is because I don't have to think too much about it. I can just enjoy and use it as a little escape from the reality of this terrible world that we live in.
God damn, sounds poetic. It's also very dark.
It's incredibly dark. We're living in dark times.
Tú eres como emo, tú eres poco emo.
Soy emo. Soy emo. No, soy darks.
I do want to ask you one last question before we close out. Something happened like a couple of weeks ago, and Irma Hernandez, and she was a teacher, a retired teacher. She was a taxi driver, and then she was killed by the cartel in Veracruz. Mm-hmm. The Mexican president came out, and she was like, "Yo." They were asking her, like, what are you going to do about Irma Hernandez? And her response was, we need to investigate more about this. And I feel like a lot of Mexicans are pissed about that, her response and stuff like that. What is your thoughts on that? Like, what's going on over there when it comes to that narco cartel culture type thing,
I mean, the thing is, cartel culture has been there for years at this point. It's not going to be something that's going to be solved overnight. It's not going to take one presidency to solve it either. I think presidents do have a responsibility to tackle it, but I don't think there's been any presidents that have truly found a solution for it. Mexico is almost a narco democracy.
Wow.
And
so that means that the narco that they kind of run the government.
They kind of do, yeah. But there's a lot of reasons for why that is, right? There's not enough funding for the police. So policemen want to get paid. What do? Well, I might as well just work for the narcos because I get paid more doing that. I get paid
more money.
Yeah.
Especially but also you got a family.
You got family. You got everything, right? And again, it's a way out of poverty, which is what people want. But also on top of that, narcos exist because they make drugs. Who buys the drugs?
Yeah, okay, in the United States.
The United States is the number one customer of drugs.
Drugs and guns. And
drugs, guns, and all that stuff. But also, it's the fact there's so many reasons why narcos are in power as big and are as big as they are these days. And what happened with Irma, unfortunately, it's very common.
Wow.
Right? And you see the viciousness of these cartels. And it's a sad thing to watch.
It's heartbreaking.
But I think at this point, people are just so used to it. People are used to just seeing that. It's just another narco killing, and that's what it is, right? And I think the narcos themselves, they've portrayed themselves with this evil. I know back in the day, cartels would just kill each other. Yeah,
that's it.
No, but nowadays it's about sending messages. You can't just kill somebody. You can't just shoot somebody. You gotta
be vicious.
You gotta record it now. Well, you can't just record it now. You gotta take their head off. You can't do that anymore. You gotta skin them alive. You gotta hang them up in the intersections.
Oh my god,
that exists. And again, there's many reasons for why that is, and it's horrible.
I sometimes think what drives somebody to get to that level, to be bro, I'm not even thinking about the human being no more. You have to dissociate yourself, as a human being. Because yo hago algo a alguien. If I do something to somebody, I'm not going to sleep for the next couple of days. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I hurt somebody, I'm going to feel terrible for hurting somebody. You see what I'm saying?
No, I think it's part of, for example, I believe Los Zetas.
Mm-hmm.
They were trained by the U.S. government.
Oh, word?
Yeah, they're they were trained by, I think, the military, the American military. Fact check me if I'm mistaken. But I believe that that's where the Zetas come from.
The more you know. And
that's again, that's American involvement in that. And again, the Americans have tried to tackle this issue, and they have been
also if you think about America, has it been involved? I think there's a thing, I forgot what it's called, but America, they do impact all of Latin America, and they have devastated a lot of Latin American culture, the economy itself. Venezuela is where it's at because of a lot of the involvement and the sanctions that the United States of America put in. They were behind the Trujillo regime, right? The United States of America went into the Dominican Republic, killed over 20,000 Dominicans, and put in labor camps, right? Well, America did to Puerto Rico, and the Jones Act is messed up. That to this day is hurting the Puerto Rican economy, and the Puerto Ricans are paying over 20% on products, right? And we talk about Cuba. What's hurting Cuba the most is right now is that embargo, bro, and Cubans are starving right there, and they don't care, bro. And, so it's right now, and we talked about why is there so many immigrants coming to this country? But every country that they're coming from, America had a hand in devastating their economy, bro.
Yeah. But that's the thing about it. It's, cartels also come from, it's an indirect result of American involvement in Latin America. The United States involvement in Latin America. Keep in mind, America destabilizing governments has led to poverty.
Yeah.
It has led to, suppressing people.
Yeah.
And again, people need to make money somehow. People need to survive. So therefore, they're going to go do what they got to do. Hence, why kind of the cartels came up in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, we can sell this product.
Yeah.
We can make more money. And it's about more money. And they're using the same capitalistic rules that America uses here in the United States, like corporations use here in the United States.
Wow. I was watching a documentary that says there's a lot of cartels that came about the Pueblo defending itself from other cartels.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the police weren't getting involved. The police were getting paid off. So a lot of times they were yo, we need to protect ourselves, especially our farms, right? They're coming in, they're devastating us. So a lot of them developed their own groups within the city to protect the city. But then they grow big and also become as bad as the other cartels.
Yeah. The cycle just keeps going.
It just keeps going.
That's humanity right there.
I know. Mi hermano, I appreciate you coming here, bro, and having this conversation with me. Man, I think every conversation we have is dope as hell. Even though this was the second recording, this was also a dope conversation always. And I thank you for sticking with me because I know he hungry.
It's like 3 hours long. He's just sitting here, no?
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
At this point, sí, son 3 horas porque las otras se fue a pique. Man, I appreciate you coming here, bro, and always indulging us with your knowledge. I think it's very important for us having this conversation. We live in a country. Well, now I would say country, but we live right now at a time that we have a lot of idiots with big microphones, right? And I feel like there's nobody really having like real deep conversations, and I feel like that's why I was like, yo, let's do something. Let's have these types of conversation, right? So like that we could affect the next generation, right? But in the comments, leave what you thought about the conversation. Join the conversation. Tell us what you think and what else you want to hear about. And I listen, I read, and shout out to Norberto. Thank you for being. Hey,
for the record, keep in mind, just to interrupt you there, I am an idiot, but I try to be better.